So let's say we've given her the flexion exercise for her lumbar spine, all that kind of stuff. But we're going to add a new one today. And what we're doing is we're stretching, we're mobilizing the nerve. Okay? So you have to go gently at this. If you go at it too hard, it just kind of flares things up. But if you go at it gently, it'll help you. Okay? So caution the person that they have to go gentle, right? They're actually mobilizing something that's pretty sensitive. So the first one, bring this knee up, put your hands in the crook of your knee, okay? And then keeping the elbows straight, straighten your hand. Let go. Okay. Now in Jen's case, it's mostly going to be a hamstring stretch, right? Because she doesn't really have signs of neural tension. If she had signs of neural tension, she'd probably stop about here, and she'd complain about back or back pain. It's a different feeling, right, than muscle stretch. And often when you have somebody with sciatica, they'll do one leg and they'll go, oh, you know, that stretches, but the other leg, they go, that feels different.
So people with sciatic nerve, if they get...
Show me what I just taught you. Okay, so this is like a static stretch. You're basically taking that nerve and just stretching it out. If you want to add a dynamic one, what you're going to do is flex the ankle back and forth. Okay, so there you're really getting the gliding going on. So that we usually call it a dynamic stretch for the sciatic nerve. Okay. Those are the two most common exercises. If I wanted to add something else, just have you sit up here with your legs straight. You can just do the standard reach down towards your toes. Okay. So that's going to be stretching or mobilizing the sciatic nerve as well. So that's another alternative. So if we talk about the course of the median nerve, right, it starts as a nerve root up in the neck. It goes underneath armpit. So it goes in underneath the armpit, right? It goes in the axilla, goes over, maybe you can take this right now. It goes through the cubital fossa in front of the elbow. Then it goes down the middle, hence it's called median. It goes underneath the carpal tunnel. And then it supplies usually these three fingers and the thumb, right, for sensation. So that's the course of the median nerve. So if we want to stretch it, we have to abduct the arm. That stretches it in the armpit. We have to straighten the elbow. The wrist is already straightened. And we have to extend the wrist. Okay? And we can also side flex your head to the right. So tip your head to the right. It may be bringing on symptoms right now. Okay, so yeah. So let's just try this again. That's the position. Now look straight ahead and just tip your head to the right. Just sideways, not rotation, sideways.
Okay.
Yeah. Now that stretches it from above, right? So we're taking that sciatic nerve and the median nerve, we're stretching it out to the maximum. What are the movements the neck can do?
Flexion, extension.
Flexion, extension,
Lateral.
lateral flexion or side flexion, and rotation, right? So we want to have a few exercises. We don't generally focus on extension because the facet joints all lay back there and they just become more crowded together. So we rarely give people extension exercises. I guess there's a place for it, but usually it's involving flexion, rotation, and side flexion. The other thing is that when we flex our neck, the first thing we do is we nod. Then we bring our chin down to the chest. Okay? We rarely bring our head down like that, right? We usually nod our chin first. So there's upper cervical flexion and there's lower cervical flexion. So often one, especially if people have headaches, is just upper cervical flexion. So all I want you to do is nod your chin down and relax. Now you guys would know this. What she's really doing is she's taking her occiput and rotating it on the atlas. Okay, so that's what the nodding motion is. So it's a small motion, but it occurs really high up in the neck. If people have complained about suboccipital headaches, this can be a really useful exercise. So this might be one of the first exercises I show somebody. Okay. Second one, what I want you to do is you're going to roll your head to this side, and then roll your head to the other side. Now quite commonly, a person's going to have more pain going one way than the other, probably to the left. But, so it's not going to be equal. What I want you to do is breathe in, roll your head to this side. Breathe out, come to the middle. Breathe in, roll your head to the right. And come to the middle. Now I don't have a ball to demonstrate this with, but there's a difference between turning, right, and rolling. When we turn our head, we also side flex, right? Nobody turns their head like it's on a spit, right? They turn, as we turn our head, like just try looking over your shoulder, you're going to notice that your head side flexes and rotates to the same side. Okay? So when we do this exercise, we want to try and replicate that. Okay? So I don't want you to twist your head in one position. I want you to roll your head like a ball. Okay? Ashley's doing fine. Okay, just try 2 or 3 each side.
And breathing at the same time?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sometimes we do it with the breathing just because it encourages people to go slowly, right? And just take it to where you start to feel it stretching out. We can make it an auto-assisted exercise. If you roll to the right, take your right hand, put it on the left side of your forehead, and just add a very gentle stretch. So this is now auto-assisted neck rotation in supine. We can be able to write this exercise down on a chart. Okay. Now side flexion doesn't work so well in supine. I mean, you could have a person try to side flex their head. We should get them up to sitting, so just have you sit up. Now this is a weight-bearing position for the neck, right? When your person's laid down, it's easy because the weight is off all the joints. As soon as you get them up to sitting, we've now got the weight of the head, right? We can do the rotation again. Can you look over your left shoulder? Just take your head and just add a gentle stretch. Right. Can you put your hands behind your back? We usually, with side flexion, have the person put their hands behind their back or sit on their hands, right? But basically what it does, it just keeps your shoulder down. Otherwise you have people side flexing like this, right? So if you keep the hands behind, what I want you to do is keep your nose pointed straight ahead. Side flex to this side. You should feel it on the opposite side. Now if Ashley had joint pain on the right side, she may actually feel it on the right side when she side flexes, right? But we would normally expect it to be on the opposite side. And then the other side. The other thing you can do is you can just do the nodding motion, just like we did when we were late. Just nod your chin down. So we can do upper cervical flexion, or we can have the person, can you nod, and then bring your chin all the way down to your chest. Now this time, the person's going to feel stretching down the middle of the back, right? So it stretches those long extensors.